We do have a quorum. We have a full house. Everybody is here except for Janet, who is out sick tonight. First order of business is to accept the minutes of the January 4th regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Moved by Phil and second by Lauren. Is there any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Visitor comments and petitions. Is there anybody here who has a comment or petition while we're on this section? There's no one here in person, so it's just folks who are on the Zoom call. Hearing none. Ferry service update. We had a finance subcommittee meeting yesterday. That was focused primarily on the variance report provided by the Maine State Ferry Service, looking at their budget. Also, we spent a fair amount of time talking about the unfunded pension liability and whether that ought to be considered part of the operating expense of the ferry service, and whether that ought to have 50% of its cost made up by farebox revenue, and how we might think about that and how we might discuss that directly with the ferry service. Especially because it appears that the unfunded pension liability for the state is on an upward trajectory, which would potentially make rates much higher, as it's already, I think, more than $1 million a year for the ferry service budget is just unfunded pension liability. So that was another point of discussion. There is a full advisory board meeting tomorrow. If anybody is interested in either attending in person or zooming in, that is happening. I think it starts at 11, although I don't remember off the top of my head, but I can get you that information if you wanted to participate in that. I think one of the topics that's going to be discussed tomorrow is more on emergency response. I know that Swans Island is still having issues with emergency response, and that the ferry service is revising their emergency response protocols right now, and I think that's going to be a topic of discussion and perhaps one of the bigger topics for tomorrow. So that's all I have on the ferry service update. Are there any questions about that?
Is there a specific spot that people should go to zoom in to listen to the meeting?
Yes, so I think it's posted on the ferry service website. I have, yeah, the Maine State Ferry Service website. If someone cannot find it, I have it in my email, or they could email me or John King as the member and alternate for the town. We can pass that information along, but it's a public meeting, and I believe it's just posted on the ferry service website. Any other questions? Hearing none. Sea level rise update, Shay.
The next sea level rise committee meeting is next Thursday. We are currently accepting applications for the part-time planning position. I have not heard if we have received any applications yet, but hopefully we will have some to review before our next meeting next week.
Great. Well, let's hope. Update on the municipal building project. Do you have an update today, Lauren?
I don't, I will mention that Steve Blatt is meeting with any potential bidders next Wednesday here at 12.
Okay.
12 to
Bidders on any part of the project, or are we talking about just the Up Island?
just the Up Island Public Safety Garage.
That's next week
Yes,
at 12 on which day?
it's the Tuesday, January 24th.
Great.
Noon
Next
to 3.
Tuesday at noon to 3. Upcoming meetings and subcommittee reports. There's planning board, January 23rd, harbor committee, January 19th. Municipal building project, as Lauren just mentioned, this is here. That is going to be January 24th at noon. Sea level rise, January 26th at 5:30. Town manager's report. Janet is out sick tonight, so we don't have her report. So we'll have to catch up on that next meeting. We have correspondence regarding the Up Island Public Safety Garage, regarding the heating system design and recommendations. I don't know if other folks here have had an opportunity to review that. It came in sort of late. I know this is something that has been on the radar for the building committee. And my understanding is that one of the things that they're planning on doing is putting PEX in the concrete when they pour, so that they'll be prepared for heating.
Has been discussed.
Yeah, so that is part of the
I didn't
plan
know
for
that.
the building.
I didn't know that was in there until I read it this morning.
So that is part of the plan. I think one of the things that's urged, I don't know if there's folks on the call who want to speak to this. But
Yeah, hi Gabe, this is Myra. Oh, my name is in big letters on the screen. Anyway, this is Myra Sinnott from the Energy Committee, so I can answer questions if you need me.
sure, I mean, I don't have any particular questions, but if you want to speak to it, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just wanted to, I mean, we really, we met with the architect and last year briefly, and but we, had some concerns with the plans and really didn't get much of feedback back and didn't know what the plans were. We saw the bids go out and things were a little unclear. So we just did some extra research and wanted to provide it to the building committee so that we knew that we were doing our work and, kind of had our concerns shared, and, whatever's decided is to be. It's very good to hear that PEX is going to be included into the slab. We didn't know that either. It would have been nice to know, but now we're on the same page. So good to know on that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And, so that's kind of, we thought it would be important to share it and to rethink things if those considerations weren't on the radar yet.
Great, well, thanks for all the input from the Energy Committee. I know that the Energy Committee has been active on this project and others, and that's certainly something that the town is very appreciative of. So thank you very much for thinking about this and doing that. Any questions, any thoughts on this? I mean, I think that I know that some of the concerns that Eric Jagger raised have been brought up with the architect, specifically as they relate to the proper insulation of the slab, and we don't have an answer on that. And then PEX in the floor is a plan, but I don't think that we want to pull back building specs. I think that a lot of these things can be incorporated in the future if we're going to head in that direction. In terms of, I know I've heard a concern about heating that space if doors are open when it's very cold outside, and the need for either radiant or Modine heaters to pump out more heat. And I think that's a real concern. And it sounds like we have the ability to add that in the future, especially since we're going to be putting PEX in the floor and can just add that functionality later. But I think that's as much as I think we should be doing right now. I'm not really in favor of pulling back the bids or stopping the process at this point. So I think that I know the building committee has actually looked at this, and I know that this has gone to the architects. And so I think that we've done sort of the due diligence, and I appreciate what the Energy Committee has done in terms of thinking about this and bringing it up. So that's my view, but I'm open to further discussion from other board members if anybody has questions, thoughts, concerns.
I don't think I guess the thing that I would add is that the Energy Committee has shared, I didn't see this until this morning to have a chance to read thoroughly through it. It's very well done as usual. They're excellent at providing the information. They did provide, information to the architect, to the committee, and it was thoroughly discussed. So it isn't new information, but they're just sort of stressing it. And in the meantime, members of the Municipal Building Committee did get together, not the whole committee, but had discussed it and decided that it would be prudent to add PEX to the slab. And then at some future date, we'd be in a position to be added more. But I didn't even know that was in the letter, but that had already been discussed. So that's great. We're thinking together.
I know this is an issue that had come to me before this letter, and I know that others had raised this issue. So it's good to know that folks are thinking about this and trying to make this the best building that we can build. Given that there are some constraints about what we can do, but I think that we're on the right track with that.
I'm really glad to hear that the PEX is already in there. And I think that really that allays our concerns, because whatever is decided in terms of the heating, at least it's there. So you have that option. I think there was I think the committee would have loved a little more communication about that, so we didn't have to re-explain it or talk about it. So might have been a little bit of a miscommunications or a little lack of communication there. So hopefully we can get back on the same track, because we're thinking alike in the ethers. So it'd be nice to have it on the paper too. So yeah.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Anything else before we move on? Okay, I don't have lost my agenda, hearing none on, but there's no old business or new business or other business. I'll open the floor up now to any of those things, if anybody has something to bring to the floor now. Hearing none. Next on the agenda is to approve warrant number 15 for year 2023.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Shay, second by Melissa. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Warrant is approved. Appointments, the new ad hoc committee to consider current and future emergency transportation options. This is a committee that we established at our last meeting. With the idea that John King, Earl McKenzie, and our own Phil Seymour would be on this committee. And now here we are, appointing the members to the committee we established last time. So I would entertain a motion to appoint those three
So
to
moved.
this committee. Moved by Warren,
Second.
second by Shay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. I think there's 3 signatures here, actually. Let's see.
Can I sign my own appointment?
Yes, you can, I think. I think not only can you, you should, I think. Unless you don't support that appointment, in which case we may have a different problem on our hands, but.
But poor Carrie, so.
Who's any- Chair comments. I do not have any comments tonight. Vice Chair comments, Shay.
No comments tonight.
No comments tonight. Lauren.
No comment.
No comments for Lauren. Melissa. Phil gets the last word.
I don't have much to say other than nothing.
Well, with that, it's a fast meeting tonight. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Phil, second by Lauren. All in favor? Aye. Thanks, everybody.
Don't forget to sign those.
Don't forget to sign those. Don't forget to sign all 3. Okay.